Hi, Paul Higgins here. What we're going to look at in this tutorial is creating MB tiles chart from Landsat. And we're going to use a browser program called Earth Explorer, and this is the URL for it, and I'll put that in the description for this tutorial. And what we're going to use is the Landsat 8 and 9 satellites. And these have certain bands, and if you go to Google them, if you Google the Landsat satellite designations, the band designations for Landsat satellites, and here they are. Band 1 is this, band 2, band 3, band 4, and these here bands are all at a 30 meter resolution, which is pretty low. It's equivalent to about a SAS Planet zoom level 13. Okay, let's look at the Earth Explorer here and see what we have to do. Okay, the first thing you want to do is go to Earth Explorer, and if you haven't created an account, create one and then log in. And the next thing you want to do is move this map to wherever you want to create a chart, and you use the mouse to do that. And I'm just going to stop the video while I do that. Okay, I positioned the map to this island in Malaysia, and that's what we're going to try to create a chart of. Go down to the, scroll down here till you get to this use map and click it, and it will create the coordinates for that particular area on the on your map here. And then you want to take a look at the cloud cover, and you want to reduce it to something very small. And then you would do, what you would do is you would click data sets, and you would go and click the Landsat tab here, or whatever it's called. Go down to the Landsat 2 collection and click the Landsat 8 and 9, and then you would press results. And it will produce a data set for every time any of the Landsat satellites have gone over this area here, where this island is. And the format of this is the Landsat ID. There is a position here where it is on the Earth, and it's followed by the date that it was acquired. And you'll notice that there happens to be two different locations here. Now if you want to see exactly what the Landsat image looks like, you click this browse button. So there is the image that Landsat took of that area, and it took a partial image of that island. And if you look at the other one here, you notice it created a image that is just partially overlaps the other one. Okay, the next thing you want to do is download the files for each one of these. So do the first one here, the top one. You click on this little download options icon here, and you go to select files, and there are all the bands that you could possibly have. and what you're going to do is deselect them all. Now, how do you know which ones to select? Well, there's a file that comes with the new version of Sat2Chart, and it's called the Landsat bands combination text. And in it, it tells you all the different combinations. So if you want to use natural colors, you would select bands 4, 3, and 2. If you want to do a reef highlighter, you would select bands 2, 3, and 6. And so forth. All the rest of them here. So going back to our files here, if you wanted natural colors, you would just select 4, 3, and 2. Now, if you wanted that reef highlighter, which happens to be 2, 3, 6, all you would have to do is select the 6, because we've already got the 2 and 3 already. And the program would automatically create charts for 4, 3, 2 and 2, 3, 6. But in our case here, we just want the natural colors. So we're going to select those. You would click download all selected, and then you would press OK. And then we want to do the same thing for this other data set here, which is this one right up here. So what we want to do is go to the download options here, go to select files, deselect them all, and we only want the natural colors, so we'll select 4, 3, and 2. And then we would download them all and press OK. Okay, as you can see now, we've downloaded all those files. We've got the ones for the area 129055, we've got the 432, and we got the ones for the 128056. So we got 2 sets of natural bands here. You don't want to probably leave them in the downloads. You want to move them to a folder for processing. So what we're going to do is select them all here, and I'm just going to copy them, and I'm going to go to another place using a Files Explorer. I'm going to go to a directory called Landsat Bands Malaysia, LANGKAWI. This happens to be the name of the island. So that's where we're going to paste them right there. So we paste them right in there. So I got them in there now. We're processing. You're going to need a bunch of programs to actually process this. So we have some prereqs. The first one is Sat2Chart itself. And if you don't have Sat2Chart installed, I'll put a link in the description for this tutorial of how to install it. The next thing you need is the ImageMagick download, and you get it from this here link here. You go to soggypaws.com Sat2Chart, and you'll find a link there called ImageMagick. And what you do is you click it, and it will download a XZ file for the ImageMagick. And when you do that, be sure to check the Add Application Directory to your system. And we'll actually need the program that's going to actually create the MB tiles. This is the program that's going to take all those TIFF files that we downloaded from from Earth Explorer and create a MB tiles. Now there's 2 ways to start this Landsat to MB tiles. The first way is to go to the directory where the latest version of Sat2Chart is, which should be 19020, and you'll find it there. And if you were to double click on that, or just right click and press run, it would start it. But instead what we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to create a shortcut. That here. Create shortcut. So we've got a shortcut here now. So what we're going to do is cut that and we're going to paste it on our desktop. So I'll do a Windows key plus M. And we paste it right on our desktop. Now that's the first way you can start it. The second way is to go to Sat2Chart itself. So if you start Sat2Chart up, and it should be 19020 or something higher, and then we go to the utilities here and go to the bottom and you'll find the Landsat to MB tiles entry. So you just click it and that starts the program up. Okay, now that we've got this up and running here, you follow the instructions in this message box up here. And the first thing it says is set the bands directory using that little icon here. So we press this and we go to where we copied our bands over to this directory here. It's the Landsat Megalesi. And the next thing it says select the output folder using the little thing here. So we'll go do that. And we'll put them all in Malaysia charts. And down here there is a checkbox to invoke editing the file, and I'll show you that later. And there's also one for pan sharpening, and I'll also show you that later. There is one for setting the image magic commands, and they're already set, so you don't have to do anything. It's set to the first one. If you want to see the difference within all the four there's actually 4 commands. Go to the help, and they actually list them all. So you can actually see the difference using each of them. And we have a help button here. If you press this, it'll show you all the help for what we're doing here, so you don't have to watch the tutorial all the time. And this is the button for the actual tutorial. And now what we would do is create chart. Okay, let's press create chart. Okay, it's creating 2 charts, 1 of 2. The reason it's creating 2 of them is, remember, we downloaded from the Earth Explorer 2 sets of the natural colors, and we're going to create a chart from each of them. You also notice in the command prompt here, you're going to see some action here. It's from Google Translate, as it translates things. Now I'm just going to stop the video for a minute while this gets going. Okay, it's now doing the second chart here, and you're going to see all the phases it's going through, for which we also went through for the first chart. First is merging files, and then it's executing the image magic command, which was set by this. And we didn't actually set it because the first one was the one we wanted to use, and it was already set to that. Now it's creating an MB tiles for the second chart. And you notice here, very slowly you're going to see the Google Translate create an MB tiles from one of the charts. Okay, once that's done, we're going to see that it produced two sets of MB tiles. And there they are, the two sets of them. And they're in that there Malaysia charts directory. So if we go to that directory, you see we got two of them there. And now what we want to do is display those on OpenCPN. So if I go to OpenCPN here, it's already up and running and it's positioned at that place. Right now it's only displaying the CM93 chart for that area. So what we're going to do is scan for new charts. And notice we have the Malaysian charts as one of the directories in here. So we'll just do a scan. And it created two charts here. And if we look at them, and you can see we have the two charts, and OpenCPN has quizzled them both together, so you can see the whole area here for that there particular island. Now if you wanted to merge those two together, you can use a utility that comes with SAT chart called Merge MB Tiles, and I'll put a link in the description for this tutorial on how to get to it. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is how to edit a chart. And you do that by checking this checkbox here, Image Editor, and it will invoke this here View Exec, which is an image editor that comes with Satu Chart. Okay, so we press this. Now it's going to go through all the phases, so I'm going to stop it until it gets to the actual editing part. Okay, it came up with the editor. It's editing this LC09.TIFF for the first chart, and we'll just enlarge that, and we'll go down to the area where we want to put something. We want to edit something here. What we're going to do is add some text here. You can do a lot of things with this editor, but I'm not going to go into all of them. One of the things is if you go to this little tab up here, this icon, if you press it, it will bring up a place to, it'll allow you to put in some text here. So I'm just going to put in Malaysian island. And what you would do then is press OK, and then you would go to the place on the image here where you want to put it and just left click, and it puts it. Now after that you want to save this. So you go to the file download up here, you go press Save As, and it gives you, it says you're saving that LC09 TIFF, which we started out with. You press Save, and it says, do you want to replace it? And you say yes. So that created it for the first chart. Now it's going to start doing the second chart, and I'm going to stop it until it gets there to the second one. Okay, it brought up the image editor for the second chart. It's LC08 TIFF this time. So we'll just enlarge this. But this time we're not going to edit it. So we're simply going to cancel the editor. So we don't put anything on the second chart. We just press close. And it takes off, and we'll start creating the charts. Okay, it finished, created those two charts again. And we're going to go take a look at them on OpenCPN. Okay, here we are on OpenCPN, and what we're going to do is do a fresh scan. And let's do another scan here. And now we see those two charts. And one of them here, you can hardly see it, but it has that there text that we put on it. It says Malaysian chart. And the other one doesn't have anything because we didn't edit it. What happens when we pan sharpen some? And we invoke that by pressing this pan sharpen button. And we just created one chart there which we modified with the image editor. And we only got one set of files, so we don't want to overlay the previous one. So what we're going to do is do what it says up here. It says optionally, you can enter the chart name after the backslash. So here's the backslash, right after the directory. We're going to put a name, and I'll call it pan sharpened. And I'm also going to invoke the image editor. I'm going to add pan sharpen to the image. And I'm going to stop the video until this here actually has finished. Okay, it finished, and now it created a chart called Pan Sharpen MB Tiles. So because we put the name here after the directory, that's the name it gave the chart. So we can go now to OpenCPN and compare it to the previous chart. Okay, I've scanned for new charts, so now we got the original one. Okay, this one is pan sharpened. So I'm just going to compare the two. I'm going to use the feature of OpenCPN that allows you to have two displays. So we'll split it here. Okay, here are the two side by side. This is the, on the left here is not pan sharpened, and on the right is the pan sharpened chart. And you see there's a little bit of difference. Highlights more things around here. Okay, I showed you how to set up the Earth Explorer and create all the bands and download the files, how to install the ImageMagick. We ran the Landsat to MB Tiles program, and we displayed the charts on OpenCPN, and we modified it, and we also pan sharpened the image. Thank you for watching.